while I have the pivot plot out, the other thing I want to work on is fronts, which is coming in and, in this case, standing directly in front of me. We could add sits later to all these things, but I want the dog to figure out how to get into position, and I find that's easier with a stand. So your question is going to be, how does the dog know whether it is, let's move this back. How does the dog know whether it's to come into a front position or into heel? Very much based on my body. So my heel position tends to be like this. I might occasionally do that, trying to keep my shoulder facing forward. I might occasionally do that to get its head out, but most of the time my heel position is going to be here, whereas, so it's beside me, whereas my front position, I usually stand with my legs somewhat apart, hands at my side. When I'm doing fronts, I have food in both hands. I want to feed at my fly with either hand. And it's going to be the same progression. It's going to be, can you find it? I will mark for straight. Can I send you off? Can you come back? Can I lure? Can you follow me around? Much of it is really easy because we did it way back in the beginning when we were building value for the platform. I am marking for being straight. I'm just going to do a little warm up, which is back to where we were before. Good. Cookie. Good girl. She's not absolutely straight. I don't care. She worked at it. Cookie. Good. These are hard, eh? So again, the one behind her is actually the easiest one for her to get, because then she comes straight, comes on straight. Good. And these are harder. Good girl. Let her work this out. You can see the confusion starting, and that's okay. We all go through a little bit of confusion when we're learning. I'm just going to highly reward that. I'm going to do a little bit more of this. Woo, that works. Good. Some easy ones. Good. Another easy one. Good. And that's where we're going to stop. Good job. You'll also notice I was trying, I'm going to see if I can do one more demo. I'm trying to feed high because I'm building that stretch and weight on the back end. I don't want her to come in a Harris. Oh, you little bum. I'm going to center myself up with her. I want the weight on the back end. I don't want her in the sit, but I do want the weight on the back end. There we go. Oops. Isn't that interesting, little one? Yes. Good girl. Cookie.
Now we're going to work on coming into front, or practicing value for front if you want, with the platform. The platform is directly in front of me. My hands are at my side, and I'm feeding at my fly from either hand. It doesn't matter which hand. Again, I don't care about a sit at this point. I just want her to think there's some value in there. I dropped one, I could have thrown it, and she came back in. She's looking at both hands, and that's why it's really important to feed with both hands. I would not be feeding off the side like that for a novice dog. I want them coming on as straight as possible. I'm not stressing about how straight it is at this point. Again, this is the pivot where I get moved around. And now this is probably work for you 3 weeks down the road. So I've got the pivot platform beside me, so she comes in beside me. I feed, I lure off, I move to the front position. Notice the difference in my hands. I feed, I lure off, I move back to the heel position. So part of it is where the platform is, but part of it is also a different picture for her. Trying to remember to feed with different hands in the front, feeding exactly in the middle of my body. Not exactly straight, but she didn't do the front, so